Do you have a bike night in your area that might be fun for us to come visit? Well, let me know. show@gregsgaragetv.com. Now let's move on to that part of the show that we call the news. We fill you in on the happenings in the power sports industry. We begin with some we ain't getting that news from Horex motorcycles. What, you haven't heard of the German motorcycle maker? Well, they started back in the 1920s, wrapped things up around 1960, and were revived in 2010. The platform for their modern motorcycle is the VR6, a 1200cc, 15-degree V6. And a couple weeks ago, Horex announced its VR6 Classic, 126 horse, 88.5 foot-pounds of torque standard with a 6-to-1 exhaust. Originally, the VR6 was matched with a supercharger said to produce 200 ponies, but we haven't seen that one yet. Anyway, we're not getting them in the US from what I understand. Germany, Austria, and Switzerland are, but I'm sure someone can get one over here. Well, my friends, it's September already, and that means that Farmers Almanac has released its 2014 winter weather predictions, and this stuff is just money, never wrong. So, will you be able to ride your motorcycle, ATV, or watercraft in January? Or how about your sled? Can you get your trail riding going up in Maine? Hey, Maine, cold, wet, and white is the prediction. Farmers is calling for a dry and chilly northwest, a cold southwest, frosty and wet in the south central, but hey, Michigan and Minnesota, bitter cold and snow. Happy days. Now my southeast, wet and chilly. Yippee. And check out the details on farmersalmanac.com. Will it be right? Well, hey, new motorcycle riders, check this out. The Authority on Getting New Riders to Learn How to Ride Properly, the Motorcycle Safety Foundation, or MSF, has recently announced an MSF Basic e-course. So now, for the low price of $19.99, you can fire up your tablet or PC or whatever and check out all kinds of great info leading into the world of motorcycling. From motorcycle types, which we've talked about right here, to basic operation, being prepared, strategies, even riding exercises. I'm going to have to give that one a go, and perhaps a review is in order. So check it out at msf-usa.org. And finally, from powersportsbusiness.com comes the story of Harley Davidson, which just had its 110th anniversary celebration, by the way, up in Milwaukee, during which they announced a partnership with Nature Conservancy to launch Renew the Ride. As part of the initiative, Harley Davidson is supporting the Nature Conservancy's work in the Atlantic rainforest of Brazil by helping to plant 110,000 trees through the Plant a Billion Tree campaign. Brazil's Atlantic forest is one of the world's most fragile and important ecosystems, harboring thousands of species found nowhere else on the planet. Today, the region is facing unpredicted challenges due to urban expansion, agriculture, ranching, and illegal logging. Now, the support from Harley Davidson will help advance the Conservancy's restoration work in the critical headwaters that help to secure clean water for more than 70% of Brazil's population. You go green, HD. And speaking of forests, one of the fun things to do is to ride in the forest. And with that in mind, it's time to head off to the woods of Rome, Georgia, and give the Suzuki KindQuad 500 a bit of a flogging.